Hey guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So this video is a little bit about the grand conjunction happening tomorrow, a little bit about inspiration, and a little bit about what you can do to help yourself when you've been feeling really stuck. So I've had a lot of people email me about how they're feeling really stuck in their life, and it's not just one area, it's their whole life. And I've been here before myself. I've said it many times. I worked 14 years at two jobs that I wasn't crazy for. If I could say anything or give advice to anybody, like inspirationally, I would say that things change, and that's one thing that you can count on. And it may seem like things are really stuck right now and nothing is changing, but that's not going to last. It's not going to last just in general because things are constantly changing. But on top of that, we've got this grand conjunction happening tomorrow. And this has not happened in Aquarius. I believe it was 800 years was the last time it happened. So, like, this is going to change things. Now, every 20 years or so, we have this type of conjunction. But for as long as we've been alive, it's been in earth signs, which is a much heavier, grounded, stable energy. As we're moving into air signs, where from now on, for as long as we're alive, this conjunction will happen every 20 years in air signs. The energy is a little bit lighter. Moving into the age of Aquarius in general is more about freedom, and I believe people are exposing themselves for who they are. As the days go on, it's becoming more and more clear people's intentions, what they want, what they're looking for, if their intentions are good. I believe that the people that have good intentions will be fine. The people that have done the work will move forward. I think that the people that are still stuck in the ego, low vibrational frequencies are going to have a tougher time. There's no way that we're getting out of this without change happening. There's just two big movers. Saturn moves every 2.5 years. Jupiter moves every year. So these are big planets. These are big shifts that are happening that they've got to bring changes. Saturn gets a really bad rap, but it's not a bad, like, everything is good and bad. What's good about Saturn is that it brings stability. It can bring stability to a good situation. So say, for example, you've been working at a temporary job for the past 6 months. If the job is a good fit for you, if you click with it, if this is something that's for the greater good for you, Saturn can come in and stabilize that. You could become a permanent employee. Now, on the other hand, Saturn also is like the father of the zodiac. So if you don't learn the lessons are going to come back harder. So if you're in a situation where you know you shouldn't be in it, it's not good, you're looking for every excuse to stay in that situation, then Saturn can present you with some really tough obstacles. But that's for you to decide. And that's why I'm always talking like free will. Free will. Like, I could pull out of this complex and make a right-hand turn, or I can make 3 lefts. It could take me to the same place, but one way will take me the long way, but I'll get to the same place I gotta go. And I feel like that's similar with Saturn. If Saturn comes in and is trying to teach you a lesson and you're not getting the lesson, you're going to repeat that. And it may be more difficult the second time or the third time or however many times it happens until we actually get it. Now, there's so many people that are saying, well, I just feel stuck. I feel like nothing is changing. And I feel that way too. Like, I feel like I've been waiting for things to happen, or I've been seeing things that are going to happen, changes that are coming, but I'm not seeing them in the physical yet. So the one thing that you want to be careful with is you don't want to create an energy loop that keeps you stuck. So this is what you don't want to do. You don't want a situation to make you feel like depressed, or you're down about it, or you wish things can change, and then that situation makes you feel depressed, so you go and you tell your friend, right? And now your friend sympathizes with you, and the two of you go back and forth with shit storms, right? Now this creates like an energy loop that keeps repeating itself. As humans, we want to connect with other people, and we connect with other people through similar stories. So you have to be careful that you're not creating this energy loop around you that keeps perpetuating this I'm stuck, nothing ever changes, I'm stuck, I got no one in my love life, I got a shitty job, I can't stand any of this. And when you may be feeling like that, it could be really difficult, but all it takes is something really simple, like, this is where I am now, and I'm okay with it because everything is changing for the better for me. In 2019, in January of 2019, I took on the mantra of, I get whatever I want in 2019. I get whatever I want in 2019. And I was saying that to my yoga classes. I was like, I'm going to get whatever I want in 2019. Now, I don't think I got everything that I wanted in 2019, but a couple of significant things happened. And maybe things didn't always happen the way that I wanted them to happen, but a lot of big things happened. And I just kept saying that to myself. Whenever I felt like, shit, nothing is changing, I just kept repeating to myself, I get whatever I want in 2019. The sky's the limit in 2019. And I just, like I was trying to program that into my brain so that I could make positive changes. And I feel like it worked. I mean, I found out that Avery was on her way in 2019, which was something that I never thought would happen. I was building up my YouTube channel with the live streams, which was something that I was hoping to do, but my channel had been struggling, like I was very dedicated to my channel, but it didn't really take off, or I didn't really feel like I was getting anywhere until I started the live streams, which I was reluctant to do, but I just gave it a shot, and it seems to be, helping. And I'm very grateful for it. So I'm trying, right, to look back on what has changed and continue to focus on what I want more of rather than what I want less of. Now, years ago, I used to have a friend who, he was really funny, but he was very negative. And I found myself always trying to make him feel better by comparing his life to mine, but negative. Like, in other words, like he would be like, well, I don't have any money. And I would be like, yeah, I don't have any money either, and I work 2 jobs that I hate. Okay? And then he would be like, yeah, but I don't have anybody to spend Christmas with. Like, or he had nobody in his life romantically. And I was like, I'm going to be at the grocery store on Christmas Eve. I spend every holiday at the grocery store. Like, that's my life. And instead of bringing him up, I brought myself down. So you wanted to be careful of those kind of interactions, because his funny personality attracted me to him, but all the negativity that came along with it really brought me down. Like he would say things about, well, I'm getting old, and meanwhile I was much older than him. I would think I was about 8 years older than him. I'm older than you. Like, and it just kept bringing me down. So you want to try to cut out those things and focus more on the positive things, and surround yourself with people that kind of align with being more positive. Like, be open to the fact that things can change tomorrow, and your whole life can change tomorrow. I mean, my life was, crazy series of one yoga class after the next in 5 different studios all over the state of New Jersey, back and forth. And then one day my life changed. I went out on maternity leave, and my intentions were to go back to yoga, but then the pandemic happened. And I never went back in the same vein that I was before. And my whole life changed. So things can change like that. It's actually just about a year to the day. I think I may have taught my last hot class last year on the 21st, and I think I taught my last regular yoga class like maybe the 23rd or something like that. 22nd or 23rd. And my whole life changed. I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think it was possible. I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to have this baby, and then I'm going to go back to yoga. Nothing changes. Everything has changed. My life is completely different from where it was last year at this time. And I feel like it's for the better. I love yoga. I enjoy teaching yoga. But the driving back and forth really takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on the car. It's, it's a lot. And I feel like now, with the direction my life has gone in, I have much more control over when I work, how often or how much I want to work, and I can control things better. And it's much easier for me now than ever before in my life. And on top of that, I get to be home with Avery. I didn't want to leave her in daycare. I really didn't. I do want her to have some daycare because I want her to interact with other children and be with other adults and have to learn other personalities other than mine, especially because mine is very easygoing. But, like all day. She's got other adults in her life, but I'm with her all day, every day. I have 3 hours on Thursday night where I'm away from her when I go and teach on Thursday night. Otherwise, I'm with her all the time. So I want her to have a different, different personalities long term. But that's, if I make that decision, it would be my choice, not because I had to. Whereas before I was looking at, I have no choice but to put my kid in daycare because I have to go to work. So I feel like if you just kind of hang on a little bit longer with the planetary shifts that are coming and the energy changes that are happening and people being exposed for who they are, the right people will show up in your life if you allow them to. And I say that with a grain of salt because sometimes, the ego wants what the ego wants. And, we may be stuck in a situation where we want this person or that job, and we don't want to hear that there's somebody else or something else coming in that's better for us. But a lot of times, going back to a broken relationship that didn't work in the first place isn't going to work the next time. Both people have to be on the same page, willing to do the work. And if that's not happening, then you're going to go back into a broken situation. And yeah, I hate to say it because it sounds negative, but sometimes fresh energy is just better energy than old stale energy. And it's something to think about, but being open to it, like being open to the fact that so many people have said, oh, I haven't met anybody all year. How could you meet someone all year when you're locked in your house? Like, that's the way this year has been for many people. But that doesn't mean that isn't going to change. And it can change tomorrow. And if fate were to step in, like you could meet the delivery guy or the person that does, that pumps the gas when you go for gas, or, like it could happen anywhere. So just hang in there for a little bit longer because things are shifting. And I think the most important thing as we move forward is trying to stay positive and trying to vibrate on a higher frequency. So doing things that make ourselves feel good and feel happiness. Watch comedies, listen to music, dance, exercise, art, and explore creativity, anything like that that's going to bring up your vibration rather than sitting in the negativity, because that's going to keep you more in that 3D world rather than moving into the 5D, which is, some people, they get really addicted to the drama of bad situations and they crave that toxicity, which is why I keep telling people to stay the fuck off of social media because it's toxic. It's toxic to have an intention to mislead somebody, to put something up on the internet so that you can get a reaction from somebody. It builds toxic loops. You're going to continue to get more toxicity back at you when you're putting that out into the universe. If your whole life is based upon what somebody thinks of a picture that you put up because you wanted to get a reaction from them, this is toxic. And social media, for everything, and as many times as I say it, people still don't listen. People are putting up there what they want you to believe, not what's happening in their real life. That was the number one reason why I got off of it, because I could not stand listening to my friends complain. Their husband's an asshole, their mother-in-law's a bitch, they hate their job. This is what I listened to all day long. And then I would go on Facebook and I would see, oh, my mother-in-law's my best friend. I'm so blessed. I'm blessed. I'm like, you fucking hate that bitch. I listen to it all day long. I just can't deal with that. But you see the toxicity of it? It's like I'm going to put out into the universe something that I don't believe to be true because I want you to believe that I have a great life. Like instead of actually creating the good life, I would rather you believe I have a good life because as long as you believe it, well, then I'm satisfied. Now, do we have any idea how toxic this is? Or people that are like with the political crap. I can't. I was getting so pissed off just being on Instagram. I don't even know how many people I deleted because I just can't. It's toxic. It's toxic for people to be at each other's throats constantly, constantly fighting back and forth. I mean, it's just, it doesn't serve any purpose other than bringing up all those negative emotions. The more negative emotions you put out into the universe, the more that are going to come back at you. So why are we doing this? To prove a point? Because we're right? I'm right. My feelings are right. Your feelings are wrong. You're wrong. I mean, and what does that prove? Okay, so you're right. Have a great life. I mean, really. So I think moving forward, the more we stay away from the toxic stuff and we start to focus on things that are much more positive. And as far as the money thing is concerned, a lot of people have issues around money. Just think of it like it's energy. I need a flow of energy in my life, like I need air, like I need water, and I can make money easily and I can give money away easily because it's just an exchange of energy. The more money I make, the more people I can help, the more charities I can donate to if that's what you like to do, or whatever it is. And just be open to it. Like, just be open to, you know what? I could have a large sum of money fall into my lap tomorrow and just think about how many people I could help or how many shelters I could donate to or how many dogs I could feed, whatever it is that is important to you. And if you start to kind of just be open to the fact that things are changing at every moment and how can I take a positive, but like, what can I look at this as positive? Like, even in the relationships where we're like really heartbroken and people have shown us that we're not who we believe them to be, you could at least be grateful that you found out now and not when matters got worse, because it can always be worse. So even when things don't work out the way we want them to, you know what? At least I found out now. Let somebody else deal with that toxic bullshit. I don't want to do it anymore. Really, I don't. I don't want to be on a low frequency anymore. I'm not going to do this, that, and the next thing because I would rather elevate myself. That's the attitude that I've been trying to take on. I'm going to say probably since 2019. Look, we're human. We're going to have moments where we just want to kill everybody because that's just human. People get on each other's nerves. Shitty things happen. We get upset. That's okay. But it's how you come back from it. And okay, now let me pull the strength and see how I can move forward with my life and focus on what's positive rather than what's negative. Because this world, we're inundated with much more negativity. I would also try, if you can, to cut out some of the news because there's so much negativity on that and horror. And focus on the positive things that are in your life and being open to change, which is going to help to change the energy around you. And it's going to start to break down some of those walls. And a lot of people have questions too about, am I pushing people away? Am I causing my own blocks? The way that you create blocks really is when you're overly focused on one thing. Now, it doesn't have to be a specific person. Like, it doesn't have to be like, well, I'm waiting for him to call. When's he going to call? When's he going to call? When's he going to call? He hasn't called in 3 days. It's been 3 days and 4 minutes. That creates blocks. But it also could be like, I never meet anybody. I never meet anybody. I never meet him. That's going to create a block because, think about chanting, right? Like, we would chant yoga over and over again, or sometimes we would do kirtans where like there would be a leader that would chant a phrase of some type and then the group would repeat it back. It creates energy. Like, that's why we do it. Like, that's why in some religions, I know that I was studying at one point, I had a Vedic astrologer that was giving me phrases to repeat over and over again in Sanskrit. and it's energy, right? You're putting that out into the universe. So you want to be careful with your words, with repeating over and over again, nothing ever goes right for me. I always work a shitty job. I can't stand doing this anymore. When the fuck are things going to change? Like, that's all creates more of that. So you want to start when the thoughts come to your mind, just flip it around. And if you find it hard to believe, what helped for me was just saying things like, I hate this job, but I'm not going to be here forever. Better things are coming. And I got out of there. I got out of both of the jobs. Now, A&P was a different situation for me because I grew up working in that grocery store. I mean, I got that job before I was able to drive when I was just a freshman in high school. So I had like grew up there, and that was like more than a second home to me. So losing that was kind of devastating. But the other job, when they let me go, I couldn't get out the door fast enough because I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there anymore. I knew that there were other things that I was meant to do. And I think that we're all destined for bigger, better things, and I think it's going to happen in 2021. I think once we get past this grand conjunction. Now, as far as astrology goes, Jupiter moving into Aquarius is going to be really beneficial for Aquarians this year. It's also beneficial for anyone that's got Jupiter in Aquarius. What that means is that you'll be having a Jupiter return this year. Jupiter will return to the place it was in your chart the day you were born. So say you were born at 3 degrees, Jupiter was at 3 degrees of Aquarius on the day you were born, and that information's in your chart. When Jupiter hits 3 degrees Aquarius this year, that's called your Jupiter return, and Jupiter usually comes bearing gifts. It also brings expansion. So like say you were a business owner, your business could expand. Or if you were starting a family, your family could expand. It brings expansion. The one thing you need to just be cautious of with Jupiter is be careful that you're not overindulging, because Jupiter can make you feel good, and sometimes a little too much of a good thing is not such a good thing. You know, over excess, overeating, over drinking, overindulging, spending money, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, Aquarians are the golden children of the zodiac this year, and it's a very beneficial aspect for Aquarians. Also, if you're an Aquarius rising, I'm trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. If your moon is in Aquarius, or if your moon is in Leo. Moon in Leo, that's me. Jupiter being opposite the moon it could bring a good year. It could bring feeling good. Or a lot of good, emotionally good things, like emotionally fulfilling year for someone who's got a Leo moon. I would say an Aquarius moon too. And Saturn coming in can stabilize some things. It could be a very powerful aspect for the Aquarians. Let me just put it to you that way. All right, this video's already been 23 minutes, so I hope that helps, and I hope it helps with some of the people that are feeling stuck, to break the energy of that I'm stuck, nothing ever happens, nothing ever changes, can't get a new job, can't find a this, that, and the next thing. Stop saying that and start to focus on, this is where I'm at now, but I'm not going to be here forever. In 2021, I get whatever I want, and see how that works. If your intentions are pure and you're putting pure intentions out into the universe, I believe it will come back to you. It's the people that are trying to manipulate situations, like, I'm going to do this so that he thinks that, and I'm going to do this so that I can have that, you know, or I'm going to bamboozle her so that I get the job, and I'm going to tell the boss that, you know, she's a whatever, and so that I can get promoted. Like those kind of, I don't think that shit's gonna fly anymore. And there used to be a time where those kinds of people got ahead. I don't think that's gonna work moving forward. I think that those people will be exposed for exactly who they are, and then they're gonna have to deal with their consequences, where those types of people maybe never had to before. So one last thing I wanted to say, was because I'm getting this question a lot. Christmas gifts. What is he buying me for Christmas? Like, that's what I keep getting. Now, this is, in my opinion, this is why women set themselves up to be disappointed constantly. Constantly disappointed. Because they will say they want something, but then they want more. Or they want to be surprised with something else. Like, well, I told him that I want a new purse, and then they'll say to me, but is he going to buy me jewelry too? And it's like, well, you told him you want a new purse. So he's going to go to the mall and he's going to buy you a purse because that's what you told him you wanted. Now, is he going to, you know what I mean? Like, if you tell somebody that you want something and they go out and buy it, and then you're not getting what you really want, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I think that women are stuck in this mentality that life is a romantic movie or, you know, a chick flick. And I am not like a super feminist at all, but I just fucking hate the word chick. I don't know why I hate it, but I do. I don't know. I just don't like it. Anyway. But we have to get out of that mentality that, like, he's going to know that I want this ring or that thing or you know, it's, if you don't tell him, he doesn't know. He's a guy. He doesn't know what color lipstick you should wear. He doesn't know what color hair you should have. He doesn't know. He knows when somebody looks hot. He knows when somebody looks ugly. He knows when somebody looks terrible. He knows when somebody looks extra. Men will notice changes, but they might not always notice what changed. So expecting that you're going to tell him that, oh, I don't want anything for Christmas, and then all of a sudden he shows up with nothing, now you're going to be mad at him. You set yourself up for that. So, and I keep saying this, don't tell people what you don't want, expecting that they're going to know what it is that you really want. I mean, these movies and society has really fucked up women's heads, because we are constantly think that, like, we're going to get this guy's going to come in on a white horse and stop you at the airport before you leave. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, if you tell someone you're moving, they're going to be like, okay, I'll see ya. They're not going to think, well, maybe she's telling me she's moving because she really wants me to stop her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're going to continue to set yourself up for being disappointed when you continuously tell people the wrong thing because you want them to figure it out. Like, they just don't get it. And that, I think that that's a huge problem. And I probably had 3 or 4 people contact me with, well, I told him I want this, but I'm hoping he'll surprise me with something better. He doesn't know what something better is. He doesn't. I mean, I think that every guy probably knows that women like jewelry, but, you know, everyone's different. Like, I love emeralds. My sister-in-law hates stones that have any color. She likes diamonds and she likes onyx. That's her thing. So how could you expect somebody to know exactly what you want if you don't tell them? My mother hated that I loved emeralds. She used to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You should want diamonds. I'm like, well, I like emeralds. She was like, that's stupid. I mean, but that's what I like. I mean, I don't have any problem with diamonds. I don't know. If I had a choice, I would choose the emerald. I don't know why. I just love it. Anyhow, so my point being, you're not going to get disappointed if you say exactly what you want. Whereas, and one of my friends did that with her engagement ring. She was like, listen, this is what I want. Make sure it's got this, that, and the next thing. And he was like, I got it. But she got what she wanted. Because she wasn't coming from this place of, I'm going to say that I don't want anything and see what he comes up with. Because that, you know what I mean? It's like, then you get disappointed. And then you're like, well, can you believe that? Yeah, well, of course, because what the hell does he know? Anyhow. All right, that's it for me. I am going to go live soon. Oh, shit, it's already 3 o'clock. I can't believe it. All right. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.